Hello and welcome or welcome back to the Import Export Hub channel, everybody. Buzz Bogdan here, your not so entertaining host for today. Thanks for joining me. And guys, without making this intro too long, let's get to the point here, as I will cover 5 products worth importing from Turkey. And my first recommendation comes from heading 3923. So we are talking about articles of plastics, and we see here some really impressive figures when it comes to Turkey's overall exports from this heading, and basically from 2019 until 2022. So the last figures, we have values above the $1 billion mark, with 2022 having registered the largest amount, some $1.4 billion, with the United Kingdom here, Germany and Israel as the main destinations, which were followed by others like, I don't know, the United States, France or Italy, to mention just a couple from this top 10 list, which cumulatively make up for roughly 54% in Turkey's overall exports from this heading, which is a very good figure. Now, relative to the compound annual growth rate for the last 5 years, we have a positive 6.6% relative growth overall, even though the export towards Iraq here, which in 2018 and 2019 was Turkey's main partner, fell with roughly 7%. But as we can clearly see also, this contraction was offset by the figures coming from the United States, which became Turkey's main export partner beginning with 2020. Now, drilling down to a year-on-year analysis, we see a 9.7% expansion in relative terms, some $123 million in absolute ones, again, thanks to the figures coming from the United Kingdom. But it seems that also Israel had a good contribution, some $13 million more imports in 2022 relative to 2021. While on the other side of the spectrum, if you want, we have Iraq and the Netherlands, who suffered contractions, and we have some $4.7 million for the former and almost $4 million for the latter. And speaking of Netherlands, let's take a look also at the main drivers, and we have subheading 392321, so sacks and bags towards the Netherlands, as I was saying, and subheading 392350, so stoppers, lids and other closures towards Greece. Moving now, guys, to my second recommendation. We have here heading 6204, and we are talking about women's or girls' suits, jackets, blazers, and the like, in which, by the way, Turkey has a major competitive advantage, and not only on a continental level, so more or less European level, but worldwide, which personally I think it will be even more reinforced with the current geopolitical developments, friendshoring and other drivers. But anyways, coming back to the figures here, we see that in 2022, Turkey's exports from this heading amounted to almost $3.8 billion, with Spain, the largest partner in this 2018-2022 timeframe, which was followed by Germany and then the Netherlands. So these were the main 3 partners, let's say, and then we have others like, I don't know, the United States, France or Poland. This last one managing to import from Turkey some $71 million worth of goods from this particular heading in 2022. Relative to the export concentration, let's say it's in the upper section of the moderately concentrated virtual dashboard with almost 79%, with Spain and Germany alone accounting for some 39%. Looking at the compound annual growth rate, again for the last 5 years, we see that the figure is positive, 6.6% to be precise. While on a year-on-year basis, the figure is close to 11%, thanks to the good performances coming from Germany, some $119 million more imports in 2022, even though both Spain and Poland registered contractions. Now, in what concerns the main drivers here, we have for both Spain and Denmark the same subheading, so 620462. Jumping now to my third recommendation, we have here heading 9404. Mattresses supports articles of bedding and similar furnishing with some $420 million worth of exports for 2022, which is almost 9% less than in 2021, with the United Kingdom here, Germany and the United States as the main partners, which were followed in these top 10 list by others like Romania, France or Ireland, again to mention just a couple. If the compound annual growth rate for the last 5 years is positive, some 16% on a year-on-year basis, the figure sadly is negative. As I've said previously, almost a 9% contraction, which translates into some $39.6 million, as the largest partners registered contractions, especially the United States with some $57.5 million. And in fact, except Romania, Ukraine and France, who all had positive figures in this top 10 list, the rest of 7 had negative ones. So it was quite a challenging year for the Turkish exporters, which will reverberate, unfortunately, also this year, so 2023. As up until July, Turkey's exports for this heading are 9% lower compared to last year for the same period, of course. And most probably the exports from this heading will end up in the lower range of $380 million, which is relatively close to the 2020 figures. As for the main drivers, well, we have here subheading 940490 towards Germany, and we have sleeping bags towards Romania, so we are talking about subheading 940430. Moving now, guys, to my fourth recommendation for you. We have here heading 0806. So we are talking about grapes, either fresh or dried, with some $655 million worth of exports, with Russia, the United Kingdom, and Germany as the main destinations, which were followed in this top 10 list by others like Italy, France, or Japan. This last one managing to import from Turkey some $14 million worth of dried grapes. And as you can see, the same holds true for the United Kingdom. While in terms of year-on-year dynamics, let's say we have a negative 4% or almost $29 million contractions with big values relating to Ukraine, United Kingdom, Germany, and also Italy, all with figures above the $8 million mark. And sadly, the figures for 2023 are not looking good either. But on the positive side, we see good figures coming from Russia, some $11 million more imports in 2022 relative to 2021. So guys, this was my fourth recommendation, and now I will move to my fifth and last one. Bear with me a little bit longer. And we have here fruit juices, so heading 2009, with $555 million worth of exports for 2022, with the United States, the Netherlands, and Italy as Turkey's main export destinations, which were followed by others like Canada, Spain, or Japan, again to mention just a couple from this top 10 list. Relative to the compound annual growth rate for the last 5 years, we have almost 15% increase, with the United States contributing a lot to this positive figure. And we see that starting with 2018, the United States began to be Turkey's main export partner, way above the second largest one. And if you ask me, this could be problematic given the high reliance on the US market. But anyways, coming back to the compound annual growth rate for the last 5 years, we see that only Spain had a negative figure almost 7% contraction, but let's face it, given the absolute figures traded with Spain, the weight is quite negligible. On a year-on-year basis, we have a 17% expansion, some $80 million in absolute terms, again, thanks to the good figures coming from the United States, who in 2022 managed to import with some $71 million more relative to the previous year. But from the figures I have, the US imports for 2023 will experience a little bit of contraction, around 9%. As for the main drivers, it seems that for the United States, apple juice was the main one, while towards South Korea we have here subheading 200,989. So we are talking about juice of fruit or vegetables unfermented. And guys, with this last recommendation being also covered, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I really hope you've liked it. Don't forget to hit those small buttons below this video. And as usual, until next time, keep your business safe. Thanks.